There's a number that every person at Microsoft should be looking at right now. Not the Windows market share number. They watch that one constantly. A different number, a smaller number that is moving faster than anything Microsoft predicted. A number that represents something that has not happened in the 30-year history of the desktop computing market. 2 million in 3 months from Windows users. When Zorin OS, a Linux distribution built by two brothers in Ireland, maintained without venture capital, offered for free, reached 2 million downloads in January 2026. More than 1 million of those downloads came directly from Windows machines. Windows Central described it as one of Linux's biggest growth stories in 2026. Windows Report called it a massive Windows migration. WebPro News described the exodus as over 1 million defections. 1 million defections from Windows in 3 months. To a free operating system that a small team built specifically to give Microsoft's abandoned users somewhere to go. Bill Gates built a company whose operating system runs on 70% of the world's computers. He stepped back from Microsoft's board in 2020, but his legacy, the platform he built, the market dominance he created, is now watching something happen that his successors could not have anticipated and are not fully sure how to stop. A small, free, community-maintained operating system is collecting the users that Microsoft decided it could afford to strand. And it is doing it at a scale that has never happened before in the history of the Linux desktop. The story of how Zorin OS forced a massive shift is a story about timing, preparation, and a decision Microsoft made that it cannot walk back. On October 14, 2025, Microsoft ended security update support for Windows 10. This was not sudden. The date had been announced years in advance. But the reality of it, for hundreds of millions of users, arrived with more force than the advance notice suggested. Because arriving simultaneously with the end of support was a second reality that Microsoft had also been quietly clear about. Windows 11's hardware requirements excluded an enormous number of those users from the obvious upgrade path. TPM2. Zero chips became standard in consumer hardware around 2016. Intel 8th generation Core processors and AMD Ryzen 2000 series became the cutoff for Windows 11 eligibility. Everything older than those thresholds, regardless of how well it ran, regardless of how much it cost when new, regardless of whether it could literally execute Windows 11 code without the hardware flag, was officially declared ineligible. Independent estimates put the number of affected machines at 240 million. Canalys warned of a catastrophic wave of electronic waste. Microsoft's published guidance for users in this situation: upgrade to Windows 11 eligible hardware, buy a new PC. On that same day, October 14, 2025, Zorin OS 18 launched. This timing was not accidental. The Zorin group had teased the launch in September, specifically signaling it would coincide with the Windows 10 end-of-life date. They knew the wave was coming. They had spent months preparing for it. And the product they shipped was specifically designed to be the answer to the question Microsoft's abandoned users were about to ask. Developers behind Zorin OS described the influx as their biggest launch ever. The download surge was immediate and dramatic. Zorin OS's official account reported 100,000 downloads in just 2 days, with 72% originating from Windows systems. 1 week later, 300,000 downloads. By mid-November, 1 million. By January 11th, 2026, 3 months after launch, 2 million downloads, with 3/4 of them from Windows machines. Windows Central, a publication whose entire editorial identity is built around covering Microsoft, put the framing plainly. This was one of Linux's biggest growth stories in 2026, driven by frustration with unwanted AI features and the increasing amount of bloatware built into Microsoft's platform. A Microsoft-focused publication describing a Linux project as one of the biggest tech stories of the year. That is the shift. The obvious question is why Zorin OS captured this moment rather than the more established distributions that have been available for longer. Ubuntu has been the most widely known Linux distribution for years. Linux Mint has been the most consistently recommended starting point for Windows migrants for a decade. Both are technically capable, well-documented, and supported by larger communities than Zorin OS has. The answer is product design. Zorin OS was not just available at the right moment. It was designed for the right person. And that person is specifically the Windows user who is switching not by choice, but by necessity. The release was explicitly positioned as a migration-focused desktop that lowers the psychological and technical barriers for Windows users who are weighing expensive hardware upgrades or paid extended security updates against switching to an alternative OS. The specific features that made this positioning real: the Windows App Detection System. When you try to run a Windows executable on Zorin OS, the system checks it against a database of over 240 popular Windows applications and tells you exactly how to get the Linux equivalent. Not a confusing error, not a silent failure, a guided redirect. Here is what you were trying to install. Here is where to get it on Linux. Here is how. No other major Linux distribution has this. The desktop layout presets. Zorin Appearance lets you choose between Windows 11 style, Windows 10 style, and Mac OS style desktop configurations. The taskbar, the launcher position, the dock, all rearranged to match. A Windows user switching to Zorin OS does not need to learn a new interface. They see their interface on a different platform. The hardware reality. Unlike Windows 11, Zorin OS is not locked behind requirements like TPM2, 0, which leaves a large number of still capable PCs unable to upgrade. The machine Microsoft told you to replace is the machine Zorin OS is designed to rescue. Security support through June 2029. More than 3 years of patches and updates from the date of installation on hardware Microsoft declared obsolete 18 months ago. The combination of carefully engineered migration paths, OneDrive and PWA continuity, and pragmatic Windows compatibility tooling gave Zorin the leverage it needed when a large cohort of users faced a forced decision at Windows 10's end of support. The Windows Forum's technical analysis of the Zorin OS phenomenon drew a distinction that is worth understanding precisely. Zorin OS 18's rapid download milestones are an unambiguous signal of large-scale curiosity and a successful product-market fit for Windows switchers. Downloads are a powerful early indicator. 2 million ISO fetches in under 3 months is an unusually large trial volume for a desktop Linux release. Unusually large trial volume. The analysis is careful to note, and this is honest and important, that 2 million downloads does not mean 2 million permanent Linux users. Downloads include people who booted the live session and went back to Windows. Downloads include IT professionals evaluating it for potential deployment. Downloads include journalists writing articles like this one. But the trial volume matters independently of the conversion rate, because trial at this scale creates something that Linux has struggled to generate for 30 years. Word of mouth at mainstream scale. Social media platforms buzz with user testimonials and developer announcements. Posts from Zorin's official account celebrated early milestones. Broader sentiment reveals a mix of frustration with Microsoft's policies and enthusiasm for Linux alternatives, with users sharing stories of revitalizing decade-old laptops that would otherwise head to landfills. Stories of revitalizing decade-old laptops. This is the emotional core of the shift that the download numbers represent. When a user takes a machine Microsoft said was worthless, a laptop from 2014 or 2015 that their Windows 10 installation ran acceptably on, installs Zorin OS and discovers it boots in 15 seconds and handles their daily tasks without complaint. That user has an experience that they share with their family, with their friends at work, with their social media followers, with anyone who mentions being frustrated with their slow Windows computer. The ripple effect of a successful trial is not measurable in download statistics. It is measurable in the conversations that follow. Zorin OS did not capture this moment alone. The Undercode News technical analysis, published in December 2025, identified what is actually happening as a bifurcated migration, with two distinct populations moving in the same direction through different doors. Regular users flock to Zorin OS, while gamers shift toward Bazite, forming two clear migration lanes. Bazite, the gaming-focused Linux distribution, ships pre-configured with Proton, boots directly into Steam's gaming interface, and has been delivering gaming performance that, in some AMD hardware benchmarks, exceeds Windows. Independent benchmarks from October 2025 showed Linux delivering higher FPS than Windows in every game tested, with performance gains ranging from 11 to 54%. Steam Linux hit 33% market share in March 2026, almost double the 3% it had achieved for the first time just 3 months earlier in December 2025, and over double Mac OS's 35% share. Together, Zorin OS and Bazite represent the two fastest growing Linux audiences, everyday consumers and gamers. Their download statistics demonstrate that users want intuitive design, strong performance, better security, and a sense of stability that Windows no longer guarantees. What this means structurally, the migration is not a single phenomenon. It is two separate populations, daily driver users and gamers, each finding a Linux distribution specifically optimized for their use case, each receiving an experience that is genuinely competitive with what they had before, each creating word of mouth that feeds the next wave of the same population. Microsoft is not watching this passively. The competitive response options are real, and some are already being deployed. The Extended Security Updates program, the paid bridge for Windows 10 users who cannot upgrade, is Microsoft's direct attempt to keep stranded users in the Windows ecosystem, rather than letting them reach for alternatives. At approximately $30 per year for consumers, the price point is low enough to retain users who are not actively frustrated, but high enough to make it a visible cost for budget-sensitive households and small organizations. Microsoft could lower or eliminate Windows 11's hardware requirements. This would immediately remove the hardware barrier that is the primary driver of the Zorin OS migration. It has not done so and has shown no signs of doing so. The requirements exist partly for security reasons that Microsoft can legitimately defend, and partly because hardware turnover generates PC sales that benefit Microsoft's OEM partners and the broader ecosystem Microsoft depends on. Microsoft could make Windows 11 a more attractive product by removing the features that are driving dissatisfaction. The ads in the interface, the forced AI integration, the mandatory Microsoft account. It is making some movement in this direction following the Copilot pullback announced in May 2026, but the direction is slow, and the history of features removed and then reintroduced under different names makes the movement difficult to trust. Potential vendor reactions could include Microsoft adjusting messaging, ESU terms, or incentives. OEMs could offer upgrade programs or bundled Linux options. Lenovo already does this. The ThinkPad Linux pricing at $140 below the Windows equivalent is a form of passive OEM support for the migration that Zorin OS is driving. What Microsoft cannot do, unend Windows 10 support, undraw the hardware line, unrelease the Copilot features that generated microslop, unmake the forced update rollouts that broke machines, uncreate the conditions that made 240 million Windows users actively receptive to an alternative for the first time. The moment has happened. The shift it created is measurable, documented, and ongoing. The long tail of enterprise adoption, ISV support, and OEM partnerships will decide whether this curiosity becomes a structural shift in desktop share. This is a meaningful market signal, not an instant market revolution. That framing from the Windows Forum analysis is precise and honest. 2 million downloads in 3 months is a signal, not a revolution. The revolution would look like a sustained multi-year increase in active Linux desktop users that changes the competitive landscape permanently. The signal is asking whether the revolution is beginning. The answer will be legible in the data by late 2026 and into 2027. Active Linux market share either continues its upward trajectory apart from 7% in 2025 toward the double-digit territory that some analysts have projected, or it plateaus as the wave of Windows 10 end-of-life urgency fades and retention problems prevent trials from becoming permanent switches. Analysts expect Linux market share to reach double digits by end of 2026. That projection, if it materializes, would represent the most significant shift in the desktop OS landscape since Mac OS X. What is already true, dissatisfaction with forced AI features, tighter hardware rules, and performance concerns are now pushing more users to consider Linux as a viable daily driver alternative than at any previous point in Linux desktop history. Zorin OS did not create that dissatisfaction. Microsoft did. Zorin OS was simply ready when the dissatisfaction reached the threshold where it needed somewhere to go. And 2 million people in 3 months went there.